Welcome to tonight's episode of the Healing Hour. I'm Tiffany Kraft, your hostess, and I am here tonight with two of our practitioners from the Tao of Wellness Santa Monica office. Tonight's topic is which healthy eating plan fits your goals? Keto, Paleo, Mediterranean, Whole 20. Finding the best diet for your body and lifestyle can be an obstacle course that doesn't work out just the way you had anticipated. To make your search easier, this month we are pulling together 10 of the most current healthy eating plans. We plan to chat with you about which ways each program provides nutritious food options, what ways you can avoid unhealthy toxins, and then we're going to break down exactly how each plan is geared to support balancing your hormones, your energy levels, and your overall well-being. Most importantly, what we'd like to teach you is tips that are going to ensure that these plans stick with you, whichever one fits your personal goals, that you can really bring that into your overall lifestyle and use it on a day-to-day basis. Now, I'd like to introduce both of our guests. Today, we're very fortunate to have with us, first of all, Soeon Park. And Soeon has been with the Tao Wellness Santa Monica Clinic for several years now. She's a California board licensed acupuncturist and certified in TCM nutrition, self-healing qigong, and TCM dermatology. She's expanded her clinical skills to include food management, digestive issues, insomnia, reproductive, and mental health. Soeon's ultimate goal is to provide the best treatments possible together with encouraging a balanced and happy lifestyle. We're also so fortunate to have with us today Frances Lamb. And Frances as well has been with our Santa Monica practice. She's been practicing acupuncture since 2009 and holds a master's of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. Certified in TCM nutrition, she also holds certification as an orthopedic exercise and fitness nutrition specialist. She is currently teaching our Qigong meditation class at Providence St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica, California for cancer support. And some of you may recall that she was just on with us the other month along with Dr. Mal. So with that, ladies, I'd like to welcome you both here with us this evening, and let's jump into the topics. I think what my first question for you all is regarding, like, what does it mean to have a healthy eating plan? Why do we need this in our lifestyle? Let's just set that framework here.
Well, currently we are bombarded with so many different choices, and unfortunately so many unhealthy choices. With our very fast-paced lifestyle, especially at work, a lot of times we don't have that time to sit and have a healthy meal. Although we do, that's part of actually healthy eating, is to make sure you allow yourself some time, whether it's 30 minutes to an hour, to really enjoy your food. It's not just eating super fast. So having a plan, having a healthy plan, will more so than weight loss, but also your health. We all have different health conditions, whether it's diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and again, with all these different conditions, we want to make sure that the food which contain vital nutrients, that we're exposed to that, and not having that quick fix of what is called food but really isn't food, processed food.
Okay. Now, what if somebody considers themselves to already be healthy? They've got it nailed down, they don't have any health issues, they're exercising, they're active. Can they still benefit from having a healthy eating plan?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would think someone who is that healthy, they are healthy in that way because they have nurtured a very healthy eating plan. And, you know, it's okay to every once in a while you want to have a cookie or some ice cream, and that's okay. But the main emphasis is that your daily meals should have your carbs, your proteins, and your fats, just depending on, making the right choices for you.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's called the nutrients, right? When you refer to carbs and proteins and all that, is that the correct term for it, or no?
Well, they're actually called or known as macronutrients versus micronutrients. And macronutrients, which basically means is that these are food substances that we need in our diet in large quantities. Mm-hmm. Okay. So starting with a carbohydrate, those are our simple sugars or our starches. There's different types of carbohydrates. There's what we call a simple carbohydrate. Think of fruit juice, your breads, your pasta, as a simple carbohydrate means it's going to give you a lot of sugar and you're going to burn it fast.
Mm-hmm.
A complex carbohydrate, something like yams or a banana, things like that, will still give you that energy, but it won't be as quick and will actually provide you a lot of the micronutrients, your vitamins and minerals. So carbohydrates, important because that is the first energy or the first type of substance the body uses for energy. All right. So your body's going to burn carbohydrates first. It's looking for that. It actually wants it. Your brain really functions on carbohydrates to function, right? So a lot of times if we eliminate the carbohydrates, we may experience brain fog.
Oh, tell everybody what brain fog is, because I think I know what it is, but.
So brain fog means sometimes you're not thinking clearly, sometimes you can't remember certain things, can be a little dangerous if you're not making best decisions, things like that, especially when it comes to driving. You combine it when you're tired also. So that would be brain fog, right? So that's a carbohydrate. And from there you go on to a protein. So proteins, we look at them as mostly meats, but you can actually get protein from certain vegetables too. The difference would be a protein which is made out of 20 amino acids. Some are essential, some are not. The non-essential are amino acids that the body can actually make on its own, but the essential are the ones that we need to have from our food. So meat actually has complete protein, meaning it can contain all 20 of your amino acids. Unfortunately, plant-based or plant foods do not contain all your amino acids. So it's really important that you make sure that you're combining your foods. This is where variety is important, so you address all of those amino acids, okay? But protein, we need protein for our muscle, our organs, our skin, our hair, even our hormones. So protein is important in the diet. Then we go on to fats. Fats would be the third macronutrient. Fats, there's a couple of different fats. There's what's called saturated fat and an unsaturated fat. Saturated fat, you want to think of anything that solidifies when it's out, whether it's cold or not, is just solid. Butter is probably a perfect example. But saturated fat, you think of trans fats, which is not something you need to stay away from. Unsaturated fat is liquid at room temperature. And think of our olive oils or grapeseed oils, and those are our really good fats that we need. We need these fats in the body for also a lot of different reasons. It protects us, it warms us up, actually keeps us insulated, right, for heat purposes. We also need it for protection of our organs, whether we're experiencing some kind of trauma, right? It helps protect the organs. But we also need it for hormone production too. A lot of our sex hormones, our testosterone, our progesterone, our estrogen, those need the fat to function too. Okay. So again, 3 macronutrients: your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fats, all necessary for just functioning, human body to function.
Okay. Got it. So then what's the next layer to this? Maybe Soeon, if you can fill us in, what would be the next step beyond our carbs, our proteins, these fat, these macronutrients and micronutrients? What else do we need to be aware of?
So as Frances said, carbohydrate and protein and fat, they are micronutrients. And then there are 2 more as micronutrients, which is vitamin and minerals. And then I want to add waters too. So those doesn't create any energy at all, but it's play a huge role for our bodies. The composition, for example, is like calcium, and calcium is for building the bone and the muscle. And also vitamins also is vitamin minerals also play a role in the balanced electrolytes too. So if, for example, if someone has muscle cramps, that means there is some imbalance between potassium and magnesium. So,
So like when we get a cramp in the calf, that's what it's causing it?
also some twitches in your eyelid too.
Yeah.
Yes.
The twitching too. Actually, we get so many phone calls from different customers who have eye twitching, and they say to us, "What can we do? What do we do to take care of this?"
So for very quick tip for the twitchy eyelid and the muscle cramp in the calf muscle, it's like simply this banana or coconut water. Because it contains a lot of potassium, so it's going to help their muscular nerve cramps. And also vitamin. What vitamin does is support your immune system, and they support your your body metabolism too. So also if there's some deficiency in certain vitamin, it creates some disease. For example, if you lack of vitamin C, you have some bleeding issue.
You have what type of issue?
Bleeding, like a gum bleeding. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then if you lack of vitamin D, vitamin D deficiency is also creating some like a muscular body skeleton muscular condition. So easily cause break of a fracture or bone weakness too. And also it affect your mood too. That's why vitamin D is very important for immune system, also your like mood, emotional condition too. And then for the water, so as you all know, almost 65% our body is like a water. So we are like a water bowl. So it's very important to drink enough water. But I want to say too much water is also not good for your body. In Western culture, we always say drink more water, but it's cause imbalance in the electrolytes too. So
first of all, I love this analogy of a water ball, because now in my head, I'm always going to imagine myself rolling. But what would be the ratio? How do you know how much water to be drinking?
So usually, traditionally, we say 6 to 8 glass of water is very important. It's a good amount, but it's very different. The body constitution or the lifestyle is very different. If you're a type of person you sweat a lot, of course you have to drink more water. But for the specific disease, if you have, for example, kidney condition, if someone has a kidney stone, you have to drink more water to flush out. But if you have kidney deficiency condition, like fertility issue, those conditions, we want to reduce your amount of water. Don't drink too much water. Don't force yourself to drink too much water.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and then what's the next layer to this that we need to be aware of? So we've talked about carbs and proteins and fats. We've got vitamins, minerals, water. What else do we want to have in our point of reference?
Well, there's also what's called your fatty acids. So fatty acids can be your omega-3s and 6s and 9s, and there's always balance. We seem to, a lot of our diet, the 6s and the 9s, we're leaving out the 3s, but I think we're seeing more progress. So your omega-3 oils are very anti-inflammatory.
Frances, can I interrupt you for a second? Can you explain, because I think a lot of us don't know, what does it mean, 3, 6, 9? Like, you know, we're told eat fish and eat fatty fishes and whatnot, but why are those numbers important to us to understand that something is rated as a 3 or as a 6 or as a 9?
Well, those are molecular structure of the different oils. So let's say, for example, omega-3s you're going to get from your salmons and avocado and actually almonds. But your omega-6s are going to come from walnuts. So there's always that perfect combination, because the omegas, they're your oils, you need them, again, going back to the inflammation, but it's good for your brain health, right? Think about your brain, I believe, is 60% fat, right? So it needs that for functioning. Your skin, excellent for your skin, your eyes, but most important, your cardiovascular health. We know that a lot of these good oils can actually help lower your LDL, which is the bad oil, what we don't want, and raise your HDL, which is the good fats, which we do want. So with these Omegas 3, 6, and 9 combination can actually help reduce the heart and arteries, the atherosclerosis, can help prevent a stroke and help thin out the blood. A lot of times if you're going into surgery, they will ask you, are you taking a fish oil or anything like that? Because it does thin out the blood. So that's why fatty acids are important in our diet, and including the foods that contain them.
You know, I think it's so interesting to listen to both of you reframe this, because at least Western culture, it puts on us this pressure to be afraid of anything fat, to stay away from fats of all sorts. And I think that we lose perspective of how important it is to have these healthy fats. Like when you just said that the brain is composed of, what was it, 60% fat?
60% fat.
Yeah, and it really hit home to me. My gosh, I never thought about the composition of my brain, but I've certainly had brain fog in the past where, you know, you put down your keys and you forget where you put your keys, or you literally say to yourself, the next thing on my list, I'm going to do A, and then somehow you forget about A. 2 minutes later, you moved on to C, D, and E. And, you know, it's not until hours later that you realize you forgot something that was important on your list. And I'm not the only one. I know we all go through these circumstances, but it makes you vulnerable because you think, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me that I'm forgetting these things. And yet it could be so simple as just adding back in this nutrient, these fatty fats into our being that would resolve that right away for us.
Very true. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so anything else that we should be aware of in terms of the macronutrients and micronutrients?
So those are the macronutrients, micronutrients, but there are also other substances in food that I think is important to understand because it comes up a lot. We talk about antioxidants and free radicals, right? So what is an antioxidant? Well, the process of oxidation means the body starts to deteriorate. So any substance that causes inflammation. So I think sugar is a really good example. Alcohol is another example. But even environmental concerns, the sun, too much sun, different pollution from the air. So what happens, sometimes the body, when you're exposed to things like that, can deteriorate faster than normal. So here comes again, making sure that your diet is loaded with antioxidants can help prevent that. But when the body starts to oxidize, it's what's called a free radical, which is basically a molecule. Molecules usually have the 2 electrons and it's missing 1. So what happens, it starts to scavenge the body looking for an electron to steal from another molecule. Again,
That just doesn't sound good.
no, it doesn't sound good. So this is when the body starts to break down. Those are the free radicals. So when you consume foods or substances that have the antioxidants, they help protect, and they actually provide a lot of these molecules with only 1 electron with an extra electron. So they actually, it's almost like a chain reaction, because once that starts, then all the other molecules start to become healthy and they start to gain their electrons. And so that's why antioxidants, when we talk about certain foods containing them, are important. But we slow down the aging process too.
Oh, we like that.
We like that, right?
Yes, anything that slows down the aging, pulls away, which again, fats for
exactly, right? Going back to fats, yes.
Yeah, see, we women need to especially pay attention to that. Okay, so how about, because I know we want to be conscious of time here and leave time for individuals' questions, let's talk about these different diet plans. And just to, again, re-emphasize before we jump into that, I hope everybody's starting to understand, because it certainly was educational to me too, that healthy eating plans aren't just about losing weight. It really is about lifestyle choices that are going to benefit your overall well-being. And as both Soeon and Francis have been talking about, this is truly feeding your body the nutrients it needs to function optimally on a day-to-day basis. So as we start to jump into talking about these healthy eating plans, please keep that in mind. And, you know, ladies, if you can just talk about too, as you're moving through each plan, keeping in mind that individuals have specific goals onto themselves. So I think maybe if we can first of all talk about how a person sets their health goals, and then talk about each of these plans and how it could address specific types of goals that an individual might have. Sound good?
Sounds
okay.
Great.
So who would like to tackle talking about health goals first?
Well, so you have certain health goals. So maybe you want to lose X amount of weight. So this is really important. First key thing is, do you have a health condition? Because some of these diets, they eliminate a whole group of food, which is not healthy and can really be very dangerous to you, right? So if you do have a health condition, whether it's going back to heart or you're diabetic, anything, you have to really speak to your MD, let them know what you are doing, okay? So now, generally speaking, here's just a general overview. Let's say you are healthy. So there's a diet called the Whole30, right? And really what that is about, this is for people who, if you can make a commitment, because there is no cheating whatsoever. This diet is for 30 days, and as it says whole, its emphasis is on whole food, which is a good thing. We like that, whole food. Some of it raw. Whole30 will eliminate your sugars, your grains, anything processed, okay? It's also about community, so you have a support system. They encourage you to go online. There's recipes for you, but the support system is super important, and no alcohol, of course. But again, it is about keeping true to this diet for 30 days straight. If you even have, let's say for sugar, no artificial substances, you cannot use anything, even honey. So let's say you just fall back a little bit, you have to start all over again, okay? So this may be a diet for someone, if you're not committed, if you don't think you can do it for 30 days, this may not be for you, okay? But again, it does emphasize meat, it does emphasize veggies and fruit, just minimal fruit though. Some of the cons of it is that it doesn't really discuss about portion sizes or anything like that. So
I was just going to ask you that, like, how do they decide the portion size? How do you even know which foods you're allowed to eat and not eat?
Exactly. Well, they do give you a list. They give you a list of different foods, different vegetables, certain fruits. So they do give you that for you, and shopping lists too, and recipes. But not really emphasizing the portion part about it. So that would be the Whole30. Again, it's really community and going online for them, making sure you can commit for 30 days.
Okay. And is it accessible if somebody has that determination to want to be able to do that? This community, can they easily access the community for that support that they would need?
Yes, so that is very easily accessed online. Okay.
Okay. Okay. What next? What's another plan that individuals would be interested in?
So next one is vegan diet and vegetarian diet.
Okay.
And it's become very popular, right? Because everyone want to lose weight. Everyone want to look young and then healthier. So it's become very popular. And then there are two different types of vegetarian diet. One is lacto-ovo vegetarian, means it includes eggs and dairy product, but still no meat. And the vegan diet is very strict, no animal protein at all. So basically, mainly they eat plant-based, and then some plant-based, and then grain and the fruits. Yeah, those one is a bit vegetarian. So one actually is really good because it contains vegetable contains a lot of vitamins, and also some vegetable contains minerals too. Then, but thing is also it's not good for everyone.
So how would you know if it was good for you or not?
Yeah, because if you have a certain condition, for example, it's not good for like growing children, right? And also pregnant women, because they require more nutrients from the animal protein. Because animal protein actually is very similar to human body, so our human body can absorb really fast. For example, like iron, like from red meats, from blood and their muscle. So So vegan diet, I would say, is a great option for short period of time, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't really strongly recommend for long period of time. And
And
then
when you say a short period of time, Soeon, what would be considered like the whole 30 is 30 days? How short a period would a vegan or a vegetarian diet be for?
or let me take it back. A short period of time, it doesn't mean like a specific period. We'll
Oh,
just
okay.
say if you added some supplements like a B12, and then
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be fine. Yeah, because our human bodies, we cannot make a lot of nutrients. So certain nutrients we have to take from the food.
Correct. Okay.
That is the reason why.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So then that is more of a lifestyle diet, but an individual needs to be conscious of supplementing those extra nutrients that are going to be needed for the body. And it sounds like particularly if they're doing it on a long-term basis, then they need to be
Mhm.
very aware of this.
Yes, for someone, I would recommend B12 supplements and some iron
Mm-hmm.
supplements for like, vegetarian or vegan diet.
Okay. Those are good supplements for us overall though, right? Or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
And
Okay.
in terms of supplements, actually Chinese herb and then Chinese treatment is really beneficial too,
Uh-huh.
because because Chinese herb is 100% plant-based, most likely is plant-based, but
Uh-huh.
we have certain plant to improve blood, making blood production too. So we
Okay.
said if someone has blood deficiency or most likely like someone suffering from the bleeding condition or internal disease,
Uh-huh.
consume a lot of blood. So we can support some blood production with the Chinese herb. And
And is this from our Chinese herb side, would it be a customized blend or over-the-counter formulas or both?
both, yeah.
Both.
If
Okay.
we make custom powder, we can make a more design for a certain condition.
Uh-huh.
But over the counter or some supplements you can purchase from infinity.com is still very effective too.
Okay. And which one would they want if they were doing the over-the-counter? Would that be our element herbs or would it be something else that's more specific?
So there's a certain ingredients support the blood production. So for example, like in Chinese terminology, it's called sudi and dangui. Those
Mm-hmm.
herbs is specifically designed for the making more blood,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's also utilized to your body make more blood, even though you don't have enough nutrients from the animal protein, but it's very effective.
Okay.
So all the Chinese doctor we aware of those certain herbs make more blood. So if you contact your acupuncturist or Chinese doctor,
Mm-hmm.
they can provide those herbs for you.
And they'll walk us through. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Let us move on then to the next plan. It looks like our next plan would be paleo. Can we talk about paleo?
Yes, so the paleo diet is
Paleo,
very
sorry.
paleo.
No, I don't do that
Okay. So that's an interesting diet.
one.
So the theory behind it is that it's based on how we used to eat in the Paleolithic era. So the Paleolithic era began 2.5 million years ago to about 10,000 years ago. So the hunters and gatherers were going to be eating food that we can either hunt or gather.
Mm-hmm.
So fruit, vegetables, meat, right? We're going to eliminate all of our grains. We're going to eliminate the sugars. We're going to actually eliminate legumes too. Those are our beans, okay? Starch, because 10,000 years ago, they're saying farming started. We started cultivating agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Paleolithic era, beans did not exist. So
Oh,
the theory is that we were not able to, the timeline between the agriculture and Paleolithic was so fast that our bodies did not have time to adjust and evolve. So we don't have the, let's say, you could say the enzymes to break down the food or to absorb it. Okay, so that's sort of the Paleolithic, I'm sorry, the paleo diet. So a lot more lean meats centered. And again, getting rid of your grains and your legumes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem with that, though, is that when you talk about how our bodies, how we've evolved, you have to think about, well, one, the region. You know, everywhere we're all different from different regions that we come from. And so the food and how we eat, a lot of it has been based on the areas regionally, right? We're going to be eating the foods where we can grow it. And you think about certain grains, or actually there has been also evidence that you didn't need big farming to grow certain grains, right? It actually is, I think there's about 30,000 years ago, there's been evidence that people did eat certain grains. Okay? So when you start to eliminate certain sections of food, so no carbs, again, you're going to eliminate certain nutrients too that are very important for you. So that's sort of the basics of the paleo diet, and it may work for some people. Some people really have an adverse reaction to grains or to beans, and that's okay. We can do an overview of all the different diets afterwards, but the paleo diet does emphasize more lean meats and things like that. What I do like about also the paleo, you want to be active too. Some of these diets don't really talk about activity levels, but the paleo diet does. So
and when you're saying active, you mean in terms of
exercise? Yes, so make sure that you're also exercising too.
Okay. And then how does the paleo differ from ketogenic?
So the ketogenic diet, or the keto diet, that actually was based in the 1920s, and it originated because researchers found that this particular diet actually helped children with a particular form of epilepsy. And the reason why is because, so the keto diet also is eliminating your carbohydrates. And so you're now, if you don't have carbohydrates, the body doesn't have that fuel source. So the next food item it's going to burn are your fats. So what happens if you burn your carbohydrates, you have glucose, right? If you don't have glucose, the next thing you're going to do is burn fats, and then the chemical is called ketones, and you're in a state of ketosis. So you're having these chemicals that come off the fats. And there's another chemical that happens too when you start to eliminate your carbohydrates, and that particular chemical helps children with the epilepsy. As adults, adapting this diet is really not a long-term sustainable, because after you burn the fats too much, your body, remember we talked about how your body needs the fats for functioning. So you're really leaving yourself to a lot of susceptible conditions too. Let's go back to the brain fog, or you're going to start to get cold. You actually may feel a little nauseous. So there's a lot of different side effects. Some people it won't affect at all. Some people side effects may be a little bit more severe. But I would think the ketogenic diet is a very short-term diet.
And when you say short-term, so how long would it be?
So everyone is different. But I would maybe you just want to start out slow at first. Let's see if you do this diet for 1 week. Let's see how your body has to adapt, right? Because you're taking away a complete food group from it. And that could, you're leaving your body certain consequences. You're going to have a reaction to that.
What type of, I mean, I know each person is individual, but like what type of reactions would a person have when you remove a food group? Is it going to impact, for instance, their emotional state, or is it going to impact, I imagine energy levels would be a big one?
Well, energy levels is a big one. And so irritability, you're going to have mood swings. Definitely, if you're diabetic or hypoglycemic, it will extremely affect you. And this is definitely probably a diet you must discuss with your doctor about that. Okay. And we always go back to the brain fog too, because again, the brain loves the carbs to function.
Mm-hmm.
So if you eliminate that, you'll probably have slow reactionary time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that can be a little dangerous too.
So, oh goodness. Okay. And then also in that sort of group is the Mediterranean diet. So now how does Mediterranean diet differ from these other two?
So Mediterranean diet, these are eating the foods that from different places in the Mediterranean. So we're talking about Greece is one of the larger countries that they want food groups from. I believe it was southern Spain and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So these foods also vegetables, and we're talking about 7 to 9 servings of vegetables and fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Red meat, maybe a few times a month.
Mm-hmm.
Fish and chicken, maybe twice a week. You can have some grains, also limited. But they really emphasize olive oil, which is really interesting. So you've got this very omega-3 oil, which again, we know that it does decrease the bad fats, the LDL. If you increase the HDL, it's going to decrease the LDL. So the Mediterranean diet really emphasizes, and this is also unique too, emphasizes eating these types of foods, but also sharing it with your family and friends and being happy.
So it's very much an emotional connection.
There's an emotional connection with it, and to enjoy the food. So it's almost this going back to celebration of food and family and friends, and this is your support too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you look, I remember just thinking about pictures when you look at tour books of Greece or Italy or Spain, everyone's happy or dancing, and it's very family oriented.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that is something that can be short-term and long-term, or short-term again only?
So interesting enough, the Mediterranean diet, because it does not eliminate certain food groups, it's not really an extreme diet from one group to another group. This is a very sustainable diet, or instead of saying diet, let's say a way to eat, a way to enjoy what you're eating, a way to have a meal, because these are foods and how you eat is taken from the Mediterranean area. So it's just focusing on, and again, we're focusing on your vegetables, which is wonderful. We know that, going back to a plant-based diet, but really understanding that your proteins and coming from meat and your fish are also important because there's a lot of nutrients. Examples, Soeon was talking about iron, right? The chemical molecular structure of iron coming from meat is going to be different than plant, and the human body recognizes the meat molecular structure of iron bioavailability is more so than it would be plant-based. Okay? So it's just a nice combination, and it's the fact that the Mediterranean, again, it's only maybe a few times a week red meat, maybe it's once or twice fish and chicken. So the emphasis is placed on really your vegetables and your fruits.
And it sounds like with this particular health plan, it's, you know, because you were talking earlier about how culturally we each come into play with the lineage, or hereditary lineage, and what our culture is. And it sounds like with the Mediterranean diet, perhaps it's the most gentle in terms of converting yourself over to a long-term type of diet plan that is going to work for your body, because your body doesn't have to adapt as strongly to something else. Would that be a correct assumption?
Correct, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
So let's swing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Francis.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I just want to emphasize all of these different diets or way to eat, they emphasize all of them, no processed food. All right. No processed food, no food. We call it no fake food. It's all about eating real whole food.
I think it's very interesting though, because perhaps people get intimidated with the concept of food preparation and cooking, but the reality is it's easy to go and grab, let's say, for a hard-boiled egg, to cook that egg for 8 minutes and just do some ahead of time to have in your refrigerator, as it is to go grab for a protein bar. And yet probably that protein bar that we think is so healthy and so packed with protein is also loaded down with sugars and doesn't have the nutrients we need. And it's not going to, it's like a quick fix energy level, but it disappears rather fast compared to that egg where all those nutrients were in the yolk and you just have to take it in.
Yes. So,
and even cooking as a whole, I do believe people put so much pressure on themselves about learning to cook, but once you just find some nice dishes that you get comfortable making, it can be such a quick process. And, you know, I always tease, even Alonzo, like we have this constant thing where he's like, well, let's just order in food. And I'm like, but I can literally make our food faster than the 30 minutes, 40 minutes that we're going to wait for that delivery on that food. And it's going to be equally enjoyable.
Exactly.
A lot of it is mindset, I guess, is my point, and my understanding of it is changing your frame of reference, changing your mindset, and understanding that once you know what you want to commit to, it is achievable as long as you make it enjoyable, the whole process of it.
And that's the key, making it enjoyable. And I know Soeon wanted to talk about the traditional Chinese medicine way to eat too.
Yes, and I wanted to do, that was actually what I was going to bring up next. So Soeon, if you can just talk with us about that aspect of it, what would you want us to understand?
Before that, I want to add one more thing. So for my patient, I always tell them like prep is very important. So I know our life is so busy. So that's why we only need a quick, order or cook quick food from the restaurant, because we don't have time at home. So, but if you prepare your vegetable and they just keep in the freezer. So whenever you need, you just, bring the vegetable from the freezer and then just make your own food. It's really fast. It's like an instant food.
Do you mind me asking a question on that? Because it is a topic that comes up quite often in conversations we have with our patients. Is there a difference between buying food fresh and then freezing it ourselves versus buying frozen food? If we know we're buying, let's say, frozen organic vegetables, is there a difference in the quality of nutrients or no?
There's pro and con, because frozen food actually, for example, like fruit, they harvest the best time of the season. So whenever they froze the fruit, it's best quality.
Okay.
The thing is, if you froze the food, they lose a lot of vitamins too. And for the vegetable, there's some process called branching. So it's boiling to kill all the virus and bacteria. So once they process this step, losing a lot of nutrients. That is reason why. So the best idea is still fresh form, like a fruit, a vegetable from the market, or even farmers market is actually best, because it's like a short. You don't need to you don't need to wait for time for the transportation, anything. Just fresh form is one of the best one. But nutrition wise, there's not a big difference. And then also frozen food is save your time and your effort too. It's better than you pick all the food from the pizza or some pre-made food or frozen food. Still, frozen fruit or vegetable, if you make out of those food for make your own dishes, it's better. Yeah.
Okay, great. So now you were going to share with us then for this next plan.
Yes. So in traditional medicine perspective, diet is very important, because our body we see the whole body. So we don't really tell patient, if you have this condition, go this diet, because our body's condition is always changing. right? Because for example, like a vegan diet or paleo diet is good for certain conditions, it's not good for everyone. But TCM, we always looking for the balance. So it can be long term. So also as a TCM perspective, we see some all the ingredient food in categorized in temperature, and then also the excess and deficiency, and then it's different categorized. So for example, if someone has cold condition, for example, if you have cold, so ginger is excellent because ginger has hot in their nature properly. So if you make a tea out of ginger, it's warm your own body and also help your digestive function too, because it provides extra heat in your stomach.
Okay. How frequently would somebody do, let's say they are making ginger tea, do they drink that several times a day? Do they drink that once a day?
It also depends on the constitution. Because we're born with a certain constitution, and if someone has like a big body and there are a lot of heat in their body, so easily feel dizzy or headache, those people, ginger or any ginger is not always a good answer for them. So for them, it's more like a mint tea, like a green tea is better idea. Cooling properly is better. But for most likely female patient, we have cold hands, cold feet, easily feel chills, right? So ginger, garlic, ginger, onion, those are excellent.
Okay.
And then some cinnamon is also one of the best ones. Cinnamon.
Okay. What else?
What else? So, and then also we have some deficiency and excess condition. So for example, we said chi deficiency. Chi deficiency symptom means you fatigue, you're very exhausted, and you're very tired, even though after 7-8 hours sleep, always tired. So those people, especially like if they don't have any excess symptoms like a stress is a different story. But if their body condition is 100% deficient, so that means we provide more food, more ingredient to boost up their energy. So actually, carb is one of the best one to give instant energy, especially for their body and also their brain function too. And then protein is also important too.
So if we had to turn towards carbs to do that, what would be an example, maybe 2 or 3 examples of good carbs to reach for when we know we need that instant?
Yes. So if it depends on the situation you are in, if for example you have cold, so you cannot really digest food and you are very sick, then still we need to eat something, right? So porridge is one of the best one. So
porridge?
And traditionally in Asia, like China or Korea or Japan, we usually eat porridge in the morning. So it's also very easily digest in your stomach. And then when you're sick, you cannot really digest food. So you have to give your stomach and your digestive system time, and then you have to make them rest. So don't eat too heavy food when you're sick.
And also, just to clarify, Soeon, when you mentioned the porridge, is Eastern porridge the same as Western porridge? Because in Western culture, porridge would be oatmeal or cream of wheat. Is it the same, or would it be something else?
It's a little bit different because,
So what would be in my porridge that's my good, healthy porridge?
Yes, because in terms of porridge in Asian culture, especially when you're sick, it should be like less fiber. That means white rice even better than brown rice, because brown rice has a lot of like vitamin and then fiber, but it's really hard on your stomach, hard to digest. So when we make a porridge, especially when you're very sick, we use white rice.
And what else is in it?
And then we added some like a mushroom, because mushroom is easily digest, and then less meat. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a recipe for our porridge? Maybe that would be a nice thing that I can send it through our weekly wellness roundup. And if you have a recipe for that and you can pass it to us, then I could put that in this weekend and send that out to everybody. Because I think it's a nice time of year with people feeling under the weather and it being winter. Maybe that's a good recipe for them to have on hand.
Also, Dr. Mao's book, Dr. Mao's cooking book has some recipe.
Yeah. Dr. Mao's cooking book. Do you guys have it behind you there? Usually there's a copy of it, but it's such a good cookbook.
Oh yes, we have here. Oh, this book here.
Yeah, that's an excellent reference, everyone. He has some really good recipes. We were talking about this in our last episode too, that the thing that's wonderful about this cookbook is that it is a series of recipes that truly can be brought into your everyday lifestyle, and they're very manageable recipes. You can access the ingredients easily from local farmers markets or your local markets in general. He gives examples of different spices and seasonings to use, so it's easy to apply that. And then just the recipes are so nourishing and filling, but they're fun recipes too. Like literally, I've been part of doing some of his cooking classes, and they're fun to be able to do, and they're easy, and they're the type of recipes that you don't feel overwhelmed by. Like you literally can say, okay, I can put this into just a weeknight meal and be able to do it. No?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Strongly recommend this book. This one has a lot of information for the diet and then also longevity. Let's try.
Okay, and for those of you that are interested in that, that is available on dowstar.com, and then it's also available in our clinics. So if you're local and you're going to the clinic for an appointment, you can pick it up there. Or if you just want to pick it up online, you would go to dowstar.com for that. Okay, well, wow, our time has been flying so fast. I can't believe we're on an hour. Okay, how about, let's do this. For those of you that are online, if you can start submitting your questions, if you're on Facebook, type your questions into the comment section for us so that we'll be able to see them. And then for those of you that are on Zoom, I need you to just raise a hand if you have a question. In the meantime, while we're waiting on all of you, I did have one more question, and that is because I know it's an event that's upcoming. Can you explain, ladies, why it is beneficial to do a detox or do a cleanse? Because I know that's something we have upcoming in January, and I think it's good for, we'll be doing a full dive into this, everyone, in January. We come back with actually a panel of all of our, Dr. Mao, Dr. Dow. Ladies, are you participating in this one too? It's going to be like all the practitioners, I think, and we're doing like a whole deep dive the first week of January, the 7th, I believe it is, of January. But it as more just like a short kind of understanding of it. Can you explain to us why detox and cleansing is good for the body?
Well, a lot of times, and especially after the holidays, we are consuming foods that we normally don't consume. So I've already noticed a lot of our patients, a lot of the Christmas parties, for the last 2 weeks, they're eating foods that are overstimulating the body. So we're seeing more phlegm, we're seeing rashes, more headaches, sluggish, low energy. So the detox protocol will help you jumpstart, especially at the beginning of the year, to really help the body get back to homeostasis or balance. So we're going to start you with a particular way to eat or a diet that is nourishing but simple for the body to digest. The digestive process really takes almost 6 hours from the time you eat a meal to complete. That's a lot of energy expended. So going on this detox retreat, we're simplifying things so you can get your energy back. We're simplifying things with your nutrition so that your the rashes can go away, anti-inflammatory. You get your energy, the phlegm, start to eliminate the phlegm. So really eliminating all these substances that are in the body that really are causing or havoc, we say, or chaos in the body. And just to also emphasize, any diet that is focusing on too much protein, also you have to be aware of kidney stones too. So that's really
How do kidney stones happen?
eating too much meat, or someone who has gout also, that can trigger a gout episode, eating too much meat. So you need to be careful with that, certain diets. Okay.
Okay.
So also for the detox retreat, some people, they say, oh, my diet always excellent. I'm always cautious what I eat, but it's from the environment too. So because the soil and the food, the vegetable or the fruit we eat is from the soil. Soil is contaminated too these days, right? Also, chemical we use, even air. Air is pollution, a lot of pollution in the air too, right? So this is a good time to reboot your system and then also detoxify your body, so we can go back to the right track. So January is a good start always, and then because usually January time you make your own resolution for the year, right? So usually after this detox protocol, many patients, they gave us feedback they feel lighter emotionally and physically too. That means there's a little a weight change too if you continue follow the protocol. So I strongly recommend you guys think about it, because we receive so many good feedback. So I want you to enjoy those kind of benefits in this year, next year, January next year.
Me too. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, we have got some questions rolling in. One thing before I ask about questions. I know that we do really fast micronutrient testing. It's something that we want to bring up because we actually offer that. How are we able to support people with micronutrient testing?
Yes, so the micronutrient test is a very important test, especially if you're thinking about going on a particular diet or you're supplementing yourself. Remember, supplement, that word, it means that you're supplementing, it's not part of your diet. If you're eating well, all your nutrients really should be coming from your food. And there is no reason to take supplements. You're overdoing certain things, right? So the micronutrient test is a way to find out if you are deficient in any of your vitamins, your minerals, certain antioxidants and fatty acids and amino acids. So it's a great way, especially if you are having certain conditions and you've tried everything. It could be coming from your diet. Maybe there is something you're missing. So this goes to where it's not about a particular diet. It's about the way you're eating and what you're either excluding. Maybe you're not eating enough. A really good example would be we definitely want a plant-based diet, but more than likely you're probably going to be deficient in B12. When you have a lack of B12, that does take your energy away. You will feel a bit lethargic, but maybe you don't know that. So here's a great way. Let's see if you're deficient, because maybe you're not deficient in B12. Maybe it's a different nutrient. Same thing if you're eating too much meat, not enough vegetables, not enough minerals coming from your vegetables. You're getting cramps all the time, muscle cramps, and you've done everything. You've taken all these supplements, but you're still getting cramps. Well, let's see. Let's take the micronutrient test. What does it tell us? Okay. And again, also, as we get older, certain things change within the body. We're not able to absorb certain foods the way we used to when we were in our 20s or our 30s and our 40s. Each decade, the body changes. So instead of the maybe one serving of your, let's say, for example, Brussels sprouts, maybe you really need to eat 3 or 4 servings. Going back to the Mediterranean diet, they emphasize 7 to 9 servings of vegetables, right? So it's a great way to find out, where are you nutritionally? Are you deficient in certain things?
Okay. And how do they go about arranging this?
So at the Dell of Wellness, we offer the micronutrient test, and you can speak to any of the practitioners, and what it is, we will fill out requisition form for you, and we'll actually give you the test, the physical test, and you'll take it to one of the labs. It's a special lab because the test is not a one vial blood draw, because the way they have to test so many nutrients, they have to pull your blood. I think it's 3 vials, and they pull it. It's a different technique. So that's why they have a very specific lab that you need to go to. Okay. It's right here in Wilshire. It's very close to our office, and that would be it. Okay, you can just make an appointment and on your way.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. So as all of you have heard, if you are interested in doing this, you can contact your practitioner at Dow Wellness, or if you don't have an assigned practitioner, then contact the clinic front desk, and I'm sure that they would help facilitate to assign you with a practitioner that can ensure that you get this done. Okay, questions that are rolling in. So here's our first question. Do you believe that food allergy tests are accurate? Blood and skin tests, that is. Who would like to take that one?
Okay, well, some of them are, some of them are not. That's the whole thing. I don't think those type of tests are 100% accurate. Think of them as guidelines, right? They steer you in a certain direction. I have a lot of patients that have done a lot of these allergy tests, and they've eliminated the foods that they're supposed to be allergic from, but yet they still have those rashes and certain conditions. So there seems to be a little bit more systemic, a little bit more involved than just eliminating certain foods. But it's a good start, all right? So I think these allergy tests, you have to think about them as just an outline or guideline.
Okay. And do you believe that, this is from the same individual, do you believe that food allergies can cause headaches?
Yes.
Because not only food allergies, it's because your intestine and your brain is connected. They send the signal to each other. So if you have any stomach condition, for example, for this very quick example, if you have food digestive issue, like food indigestion, you have headache, right? Headache and the nausea. It's very simply your brain and your intestine is connected. Yeah.
Okay.
So cause brain fog.
Brain fog, my favorite new term, which I really don't want to have relate to me anymore.
So if you have better digestion, your brain is clear, so you can more focus on your daily life or your work. You're more productive too. That's why we always emphasize we have to maintain good digestive system. So what you eat is very important. So acupuncture treatment is really beneficial for that reasons, because when we check the pulse and tongue, we can see what's going on inside your intestine, inside your digestive tract.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, next question. What's the first thing I should do for my body when I wake up in the morning?
So for me, I strongly recommend you to stretching first. So in your bed, in your bed, just stretch your body all the way up, the side to side, and then roll your back, front and back, and the side to side. It's very stretchy. And then after then, just take a water. So it's just a room temperature water with a what is called probiotic.
Probiotic.
Yeah, probiotic with a lemon water is one of the good habits I would recommend.
Okay. Where is it good to get probiotics from?
We do have good probiotic at our wellness too. Yeah.
Okay. Is that an over-the-counter product, or is that something that they need a customization for?
It's like over-the-counter. And also make sure if you buy probiotic from outside, you have to make sure to check like a pre and probiotic together. So pre is food for the bacteria living inside. So if you buy a probiotic, it only has a probiotic inside, it doesn't last long. So it's not really effective. So it has to be like pre and pro together.
Okay. And then Francis, same routine or different?
I'm sorry?
Would you recommend the same routine or different?
Oh, yes. So definitely you want to get your heart also starting. So there's a lot of, we do in the Qigong, there's a warm-up exercise. So important to get your heart, get your, I want to say your cardiovascular going a little bit. That's going to warm up your body. So with the stretching, you can warm up and just do a little bit of jumping or bouncing, get your circulation moving. And that also helps the brain to wake up. Definitely, I do agree. Drink some water, just drink some lemon water. And the idea behind that, too, is you're actually stimulating your digestive process right then and there. With the lemon water, lemon helps support your liver to metabolize certain things, too. So, and also high in vitamin C. So,
If someone doesn't know what Qigong is, just like a foundation is just tapping. Tap your entire body.
Tap your body to wake it up, right? Get things moving and get the oxygen. Deep breathing. Oxygen helps also the brain. Going back to the brain fog.
Here we are again.
Here we are again.
Friends, on this with us. Are you understanding your brain needs love? Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Hold on. Okay. Are all fish healthy for us? Or are there specific types of fish we should focus on?
Definitely, there's very specific fish, and unfortunately, with the oceans polluted as they are, there is high mercury content in a lot of our fishes. Tuna probably being the number one. So it is very difficult in terms of your fish. You have to make sure what's the region, where are they being caught, okay? Salmon, cold water too, and usually I believe the Alaskan waters pretty clean. So wild caught salmon is really good versus tuna. Tuna we know has high amounts of mercury. All right, so you've got to be careful of that. Halibut is also a good fish that you want to think about. Sardines are an excellent fish to eat, also high in the omega-3s along with the salmon. But there's actual websites, one of them from the Monterey Bay Aquarium, that will give you a list of all the fishes that are high mercury content, and will let you know what fishes to focus on and fishes to really probably stay away from.
Okay, great. What is the name of where we should go to again?
I believe MontereyBayAquarium.org, O-R-G, and they'll probably give you tabs of the list of fish.
Okay, perfect.
And for the mercury, I know everyone worry about mercury, right?
Yeah.
So if you eat with seaweed, actually seaweed has a component, like a sticky component. Actually, when you eat seaweed, it's attached to the toxin. It's like a metals inside your body, so easily can get it off from your body too. So if you
so it's literally like a magnet taking it away.
Yeah. So it's mineral. Mineral is also one of the most important component for micronutrients for the detoxification. So if you worry about metal toxin, I want you to eat with the seaweed.
Very interesting. I have a follow-up question on that. So for a person who might live in a community where it's not quite easy to get hold of, I think though most health food stores at least carry seaweed now. What's the easiest way to prepare it? Like what seaweed, because there's many different types of seaweed, first of all. What seaweed should they purchase? And what is the easiest way to prepare it that they can do at home?
So
especially now that they know it's a magnet for toxins removal.
So seaweed can be very unfamiliar in this Western culture.
Yes.
So I want you to try with a seaweed salad in a sushi restaurant.
Okay.
You ever tried the seaweed salad?
I love it.
Yeah. That is the easiest way you can, familiar with. And then
I was to say nori Actually, nori are the sheets, and every grocery store sells it. Every basic grocery store. So we're talking about your Ralph's or your Albertsons. In the Asian section will sell nori. So those are sheets of seaweed, and you can actually put it in the toaster oven so it becomes a little crispy.
Oh.
And that would probably be the easiest way for seaweed to have access to seaweed.
Okay, and you just eat it on its own, or I know I've done wraps with it, but
Exactly. You can do wraps. You can crumble it, put it in your soups, things like that, or in your grains also with your quinoa. You don't necessarily have to put fish in there. You can do avocado, cucumbers, carrots, do a vegetarian wrap with the nori. Very versatile.
Okay. And is it something that they should be eating every day then, or just a few times a week?
Well, I personally, if I had access, I'd probably eat it every day because it's so yummy.
Also, if you go to like any Trader Joe or Whole Foods store, you can easily find a snack.
Yes.
One of the best one. And then also seaweed has a lot of iodine. Iodine is the main ingredient for the medicine for your thyroid function. So what thyroid does is thyroid is regulate your metabolism and the immune system. So some if you enjoy more seaweed, it's actually beneficial unless you have some inflammation in this area. Like we said, it's Hashimoto. If you have any inflammation in this area, seaweed I want to avoid. But if you don't have any kind of like a specific medical condition, I want to try. More seaweed.
Okay. Thank you. Oh my goodness. See, we don't want to let you go. You guys have been giving so many wonderful tips. But I do realize we're now 15 minutes over. So I think it is time to wrap up. Perhaps if each of you would like to share one more piece of advice, insight, what would you like us to leave with tonight?
I think it's really important to speak to your healthcare practitioner about your meal plan. I'm trying to get away from diet, more so emphasizing how to eat, what to eat. We're talking about long term, right? So if your goal is to, I want to lose, let's say, 5 pounds in 1 week, sure, we can put you on, let's say, a ketogenic diet for 1 week. We're going to eliminate all your carbs. But again, you have to consider your health condition, a lot of things. That's why it's important to work with a healthcare practitioner and come speak to us. And maybe you like the paleo diet and that suits you, and over a course of time you are losing weight. But you want to check in with us, making sure you are reaching all your nutritional needs. So maybe you need to take that micronutrient test. So I think the emphasis here is making sure you're enjoying what you eat and changing it so it's more of a lifestyle change, right? And not to say that you want to deprive yourself, you want to have fun too. There are certain things. There is ice cream. I enjoy ice cream. But how much? And there's certain times that you want to eat ice cream. Going back to TCM, when it's cold weather, we want to balance things out. So when it's cold weather, we want to have warming foods. Warm weather, we can start eating our cooler, colder foods. So maybe it's the summertime you want to eat ice cream. And again, it's about portion size. I think in this present or the current newsletter on the back, on the nutrition section, I do write about, or I list all the different portion size and how to know what are you eating and how much. Because serving sizes, how many servings, and portion control is also a part of, if you want to lose weight, certain foods and how much of it are you eating.
Okay, thank you so much. And Soeon, for you?
So this is a perfect time for like a slow cooking food, right? So let's use more crock pot. So enjoy more warm food, because raw food has good benefit, but it's hard to digest. So if you eat more cooked food and warm food, you might be surprised how much you have more energy after meal. And then also, this is holiday season, so I know it's hard to avoid sugary stuff or alcohol. If you really have to drink, don't over 1 glass of alcohol, honestly.
Pace yourself.
because human
Really
body,
enjoy that 1 glass of wine.
unless you have like a disease or a certain condition, liver condition or a kidney condition, so don't just enjoy in moderation. And if in case you have to drink, just drink a lot of water, so flush out, and then don't stress out. It is more important. If you under extreme stress, your body releases stress hormone. Stress hormone actually mess up everything.
Yeah.
So if you fail, certain diet today, let's start over tomorrow. Don't just think, oh, I failed this time today, so I'm already failed. Don't think that way. So we can start every time, start over again. Okay, so yeah, that is what I want to say.
Oh, that's beautiful, both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Okay, well, for those of you that joined us tonight, we're so appreciative to have you on. I know we had quite a few people on Facebook with us and then several here on Zoom. We are here to answer any questions that you have. If something comes up after we've concluded tonight, you're more than welcome to send your question over to marketing@infinity.com, and I will pass it on to Soeon and Francis to answer you back soonest. Otherwise, we hope you enjoy a very beautiful holiday season, and also remember to take time for yourself. This is, as you know, both of them have been saying, this is a beautiful time just intuitively in the season where we're meant to take a little bit of step back and be extra nourishing with ourselves and nurturing, and slow down and enjoy these last weeks of the year. Think about setting your goals for next year and what your desires are, and focus more on the present and the future, and let go. You can't do anything about the whole rest of the year we just experienced. So just enjoy these last weeks to the utmost. And it really is about self-love and sharing love with others. So we will be back in January. Our next episode is going to be January 7th. And as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a very unique episode because we're going to have an entire panel. Dr. Mao, Dr. Dao, our practitioners are on, and we are going to be talking about the Chinese medicine system of detox. So we're really excited to bring that to you so that you can do a whole reboot of mind and body as you welcome in 2019. So in the meantime, enjoy, and we are so appreciative again. And we will see you in a few weeks. Thank you all very much. Thank you, ladies, again. It was a wonderful episode. Really appreciate it. Okay, take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.